you know going in. I'm skipping past the nonsense. But we were literally there tasked to make a difference. And so Juan was not walking up here because it's fun to walk across South America. He was tortured. He was held captive. And so he was one of, I think, like 10 boys. And some of his brothers had died in this conflict. So that's why he kept attempting to make it over here. The last time that he got in, he got a job at a hospital as an EVS worker. The manager in the SPD department was like, you work hard. I want to train you how to do this stuff. Well, I didn't even speak English at the time. He would talk all the time about how they would make jokes about like Jesus or Jesus or one in the time and stuff, and he wouldn't understand what they were saying, but that did not matter. He was dedicated to understanding that job. By the time he finished and got the actual position, he moved up to become a supervisor at Kaiser. And he had been at other facilities. He had a pension somewhere else.
You said so.
Right? And he had came over to Kaiser. And he was sticking with Kaiser because when you work there for 5 years,
benefits.
Right, you become vested in their pension plan. So that's also something I didn't put up there.
5 years,
but
10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and then
if you
25
do
and 30.
5 years with them, and it doesn't have to be consecutive, but if you do 5 years with them, you get vested in their pension plan. So he was like, I'm staying because I'm here for my pension. Okay? Juan ended up developing pancreatic cancer, and he went through a horrible blow with that. And I had already left Kaiser at that point for my own sanity. It was 3 of us. It was myself, this lady named Karen, she was a nurse, and Juan. Karen had a Bell's palsy episode where she lost control of the right side of her face. She was the first one to get sick out of the stress. It was very stressful.
Stressful, yeah.
And she took a break, and then she called us and she said, y'all can't do it. She left. Now it's me and Juan. She's an amazing woman, super knowledgeable, and a great advocate for SPD. So then it was Juan and I left. I went into depression and anxiety. I couldn't take it. It really messed with my morality and my sense of the world. Why don't these people care about what they're doing? It was heartbreaking. I left. I couldn't take it no more. That left Juan.
You left me.
I left all y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I had to get out.
But when she left me, though, I was stronger already.
I was gonna make it, and we did that amongst each other. Juan got sick, and he worked.
Yeah.
He took that short-term disability. He did as many hours as he could. He would go to rehab and radiation in the morning. He would come to the hospital in the afternoon. He still, just like my friend that was arguing about the 31, he still was the most knowledgeable person. He knew all the instruments. He knew the surgeons. He knew what the nurses wanted. He knew what time of day you wanted it. He knew what color you wanted it in. He knew everything. If it was lost, he could find it.
After his surgery, when he woke up, we were visiting, right? The first thing in his mouth said, is all the 8 o'clock cases ready for the 16 OR? That's his first word when he woke up after that AAA.
Each time.
Yeah, each time. Okay,
each time.
One time.
I go up after the AAA, after the Whipple.
Yeah, Whipple. Yeah.
So with a Whipple surgery, if y'all don't know what those are.
It's a long surgery,
and
then the percentage of people that survive it is what, 10-15%?
It's typically
very low.
It's typically a death sentence.
Yeah.
You don't expect that they're going to make it. He just kept beating the odds. But they open your abdomen and they drain. He's full of fluid. So he wakes up. I come in the room. I'm not working at the time. He looks at me. He's like, "Boss, did they say how surgery went today?"
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Sir.
No, really, yeah. I mean, I really want to cry
every time I think about that time. I did one more job after that of seeing just how much this integrity situation is just not working for us right now, and I said, I'm done. I'll take my expertise and I'll pour it back into the people that are coming in so that you guys can be prepared and you can know what you're walking into and you can set the tone for yourself. Because nobody can make you do anything. You know, they can tell you, we're about to go to the back and hit the bait, da-da-da. You don't have to go, right? It's totally up to you. But just be cognizant when you walk through those doors, it really is just that serious. You know, Juan took it that serious literally until the last breath of him.
Yeah.
So it's why I named my business after his last name, Candray. And I feel the same way about it.
We were supposed to do it together.
Hey, who's to say it can't still happen?
It is now. Yeah.
Right? We are educating together. But you don't find people like Marisol, like myself, like Juan all the time. I want y'all to be those type of people when you go into these places because it's that important. They're going to give you the $31 an hour no matter what. Whether you're mediocre and you show up sometimes, whether you play me and you call out every Friday, or anytime your family is coming into town, you think that's an acceptable reason to hit me with the I can't make it, or whatever the case may be. Every time you don't show up, somebody has to cover for you. Yeah. Somebody has to cover for you. You have to think about it that way. Most people only think about it from the fact that it bothers them, right? Such and such call out, now I got to do everything. Don't be that person. Just show up. Be there when you need to be there. If you can't be there, follow the protocol. Call ahead of time. Let somebody know. But make your best effort when you clock in to give that job your attention. Because people like Juan deserve clean instruments. I imagine if a Whipple has a 10% survival rate, what is it going to be if one of his instruments has residual tissue on it? Yeah. How is he going to handle an infection? He can't take it. He literally can't take it. You'll kill him. So that's why I say with SPD, you can truly harm somebody and never be none the wiser. You might not know that you're the reason why they have to go into additional antibiotics because your tray's not on time. Or they have to get a washout because they left and they went home, but now your dirty instruments done set up infection and the side of their body looks like a watermelon. Now I have to come back and I have to do another surgery to get that thing drained and more antibiotics to make sure it doesn't grow back. And those are just easy ones. Like those are just the regular everyday things that we do. So I do. I think it's so powerful, and I'm so proud of y'all for making the leap to pay and come in and learn from people like Maricel to take these skills. I saw y'all taking notes. To me, that says you're interested, you do want to know more. I hope that you can use this to just skip yourself right onto some dollars that make sense to you. But don't ever forget what you're doing here. There's a million ways to make a dollar. If all it's about is money, go somewhere else. You got to have the integrity in this space if you want to cash out. Thank you very much for the time. It helps me feel like I honor him, you know, when we do this.
We are the one who's honored. I mean,